red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, flags, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger. Sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace you and yours, peace to the family, peace you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the day, Brother Red Pillar, reporting live and direct. All right, KTL in the NYC. We are in Brooklyn, Brooknam to be exact. Shout out to New York City. Look, I'm literally I'm beachfront right now. I'm by the beach right now. You know what I mean? This is a different type of experience. I've never really been near a beach when I visited New York City, but this trip is a little bit different. We are in town for the International African Arts Festival, which started on Friday, July the 4th, and it ends today on the 6th. And yeah, it's been cool and whatnot. This trip to New York's been cool, but we're gonna talk about some other things that have been going on. Man, oh man, the whole world has been going through a lot of natural disasters ever since last Saturday. It really kind of kicked off last Saturday when they started having monsoons in Atlanta. That Bedell said, Atlanta is Atlantis. Let's keep that in mind. We said it 14 times. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. And you turn around, and ever since then, water has been falling from the sky in the terms of a deluge, right? Rivers have been coming down in different places. you know, in different places. We're going to talk about that as we move forward. I've been putting together a presentation, so pardon me for any of the tardiness and whatnot, but I even was going to go live last night. I started doing my raw search, and it took me down some rabbit holes. So I was like, nah, I'm going to get at them early in the rising. I'm going to put together some evidence. I'm going to put together some proof, some visuals and whatnot. And we're going to take a walk. You know what I mean? We're going to walk, and we're going to show and prove what is taking place during this paradigm shift that we're all witnessing right now, bearing witness to, right? In real time. We're witnessing a shift in real time, real talk. You feel me? Like ever since, I won't even call it Stone Mountain, Crystal Mountain. Ever since that Crystal Mountain excursion, where people from different grids, different ley lines, different energy centers converge on top of a crystal, which happens to be an energy center, a sacred energy center, right? Around the world. And it lays on a ley line of different, quote unquote, nations around the world. It reverberates on that, quote unquote, parallel. It's on the 33rd, right? Man, we're going to have a lot to talk about today. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building. Let's go ahead and activate the grid. That's one of the only regrets that I have at the meeting that we had approximately 7 to 8 days ago. I didn't do roll call. Feel me? I was supposed to do roll call on top of the Stone Mountain. I was supposed to do roll call on that summit. For real, for real. How do we sound? How's the audio? How's the audio sound? We got Los Angeles in the building, but of course, right? We got Toronto in the building. We got Charlotte in the building. We got Commerce, Georgia in the building. Florida, we got PG, DC, T-Dot. All right? Family is here. You know what I'm talking about? The Bronx is in the building. Voltron, we already formed that. Cincinnati, Glendale, Decatur. Decatur. Yeah, pop a bottle, y'all. We got Champaign, Illinois up in this thing. The audio was good. That's right. All right, Harlem is here. H-Town is here. Big Brooklyn in the building. You know what I'm talking about? H-Town in the building. All right, Miami in the building. Special shout out to the guard, Mac. You feel me? Special shout out to the brother, the guard, Ty, Just Beat. You know, everybody that's been holding it down out here. And, shout out to Turtle Gang. Shout out to everybody that I've been seeing. I've been seeing a ton of people in New York City. New York City is a whole episode, Brooklyn to be exact. But the New York episode, we're going to have that real soon because we just got to have that build. There has to be a talk about it. Miami in the building. Covington, Georgia in the building, but Harlem, New York. But before we even have that conversation, shout out to New York for putting up a history-breaking, no shootings, no killings, 4th of July. The day that we arrived, the day that we did the first day of the festival, there were no shootings. It was a historic first for New York City. They said it never happened as long as they've been keeping records. All right. Cleveland, all right? We got NC in the building, OKC in the building, BK in the building, Flushing, Queens in the building. We got the Bay, we got Chicago, we got the Wild Hunnets. You know I'm talking about? Naptown in the building. Be-More in the building, Delaware. Shout out to the Delaware family. Shout out to the Vegas family. Look at the shit that happened in Vegas. Having freak weather around the world, and never one moment do I want to hear you people talk about HAARP. If you talk about HAARP, it just means that you haven't been tapped in to the Big Chief. You're not tapped into Rod Hayes. You're not tapped into with the fans. Wait a minute. You're not with the movement. This is the land waking up. Wait till we break down the spiritual significance of the Guadalupe River, amongst many things that are that are rising up right now. Shout out to Nashawn in the building. Peace to the God. That's Connecticut by way of the ATL. Tulsa, OKC, Houston, right? Come on. Like, I'm gonna show and prove everywhere it is acting up is a part of this roll call. This is all part of it's part of every roll call. All of these lands that are waking up, it's a part of the roll call. Water signifies life. Okay? The deluge, remember, water remembers before man. And they're doing things like passing the big bad bill that is potentially going to go against. It is a part of the war on terra firma, right? It's a bill that's going to completely turn this thing around. So the way the spirit works is it starts to wash things up. It starts to, I don't know. It responds, So Camp Mystic got washed away and trapped by what was it? The Travis River. Condolences to everybody who's being affected by these storms. This is a tragedy. It is tragic. In no means, in no ways, and no hows would anybody, say that, what I mean? I'm a reporter and I'm observing nature wake up. I'm observing indigenous land begin to, quote unquote, rise up. I'm observing the rains fall down and the symbolism behind what is being shown to me, right? As a metaphysicist, and as a quote unquote decoder, my disclaimer is I have to remove my personal feelings from reporting, right? Like, would you ever trust a reporter who every time he gets around the opposite sex, he or she, they begin to kind of like, become emotional and lose their professionalism? No, those people are considered to be compromised or biased. So in reporting, I'm not allowed to be biased. So I have to speak on what is taking place, irregardless of the casualties or the collateral damage or whatever is occurring and whatnot. It doesn't take away the fact that the Guadalupe River is a sacred river. And it says in lore that when this river wakes up, it is a sign. Okay, these are signs. So the great divine speaks through signs, and a majority, well, we'll talk about Camp Mystic in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's get right into the lesson. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get right into the lesson. So this is what happened a few what did I say? A strong indigo, 7 or 8 days ago. Now, I want to show this clip specifically because I want to explain that the energy that was emanating on Stone Mountain, the frequency, the shift that hit Stone Mountain, the fact that a meteor landed the day before, the fact that they were freak weather, they were storms that were popping out of nowhere and whatnot. All nations, races, creeds, and everything were invited. Remember, this is a spiritual movement. This is not a movement that people would try to put certain titles and tags on it. That's not what that was. This is a spiritual gathering. It's non-denominational. It's not about consciousness. It's not about platforms. It had nothing to do with anything. Europeans were there. Okay. Everyone was invited. This wasn't a only, yo, don't FBA only, or no, it was none of it. Was welcome all. So I'm showing this video of a gray, right, who attended. Okay. And he made a video, and this is his perspective of what took place, just to show you that the energy was so authentic that it affected everyone, right? Because I'm stating a case about what is taking place around the world to this day. Hold on. Let me rewind that. I'm stating a case. I'm laying out the quote unquote evidence, right? On some Brian Steele shit. I'm laying out the evidence of how this energy that was built up on top of Crystal Mountain.
To this day, to this day, to this day.
So check it out.
Today, I hiked to the top of Stone Mountain with a conscious collective. Individuals from all walks of life, united by a shared mission to raise the vibration of love, not just for ourselves, but for the collective frequency of the planet. Being surrounded by so many powerful, heart-led souls, especially from the Black community, was something special. The energy, the presence, the ancestral wisdom, it moved me. There's a depth, a power, a divine pulse that the world needs more of. And today, I witnessed it firsthand. And for me, this isn't about race. It's not about religion. It's not about separation. I don't see labels. I see humans. I see souls. I see love. There's something transformative about coming together like this. People who are committed to healing, to remembering who we are, and to embodying ancient truths that transcend time. Today wasn't just a hike. It was a spiritual ceremony. It was a shift. It was love in motion. And Stone Mountain felt it. The earth felt it. And trust me, the world will too.
So somebody said how many Europeans were there? It was 99.5% us, right? 99.5% us. And there was some guests that came along, and that was their report of what it is that they witnessed. You feel me? It is what it is, right? This was the night before.
Stone Mountain with the
This is what we were doing the night before, though, right? Because it didn't just start on the mountain. It started the day before. So check this out.
Hey!
This is in front of MLK's house. This is how rituals are done. This is the ceremony. This is in front of the ancestral birthplace of Martin Luther King, right? And the whole block is preserved. It's captured in time. If you Google it, the whole entire block is preserved. It is stuck in time. It looks like the 40s and whatnot. So the energy is still there, right? The energy is still there. So this is us casting our dreams in front of his house. And thunder came out of the sky when we were building, and it was on live.
We just got to bring it back.
I say.
So like you said earlier about us needing the medicating week, we don't need none of that shit.
That's right.
When you eat from the earth, from the planet, you don't have diabetes, you don't have the high blood pressure, you know what I mean? They call it vegan or whatever. We supposed to eat from the planet, y'all. You know what I mean? When we eat directly from what God put here, we don't have any of their man-made food. You know what I mean? My plan is to bring everybody.
Can y'all hear him talking?
I say.
Yeah, looking up in the sky, grateful for all my pain. Learning every mistake, I'ma spend it in my brain. terrain, connected with the nature that's flowing through my veins. Walking the planet like on Groot, saving the earth. Guarding the galaxies, I'm taking off, don't need no plane. Got my feet on the planet, reclaiming my terrain. Protesting in Atlanta, this the home of the Braves. I hit her with my rod, she just riding my wave. They curving every pitch, trapping you in a maze. I got my feet in the soil, safe on my home base.
Daddy, where you want it?
I put it in her face.
Don't get it in my eye.
I sprayed her with my mace. Attract and never chase. This is deeper than race. Rooted deep in the trees, no Wi-Fi, this is my space. I'm putting down the books, she just giving me face. Turn my Twitter to X, installing all my updates. Looking up in the sky, grateful for all my pain. Learning from every mistake, I'm expanding my brain. Connecting with the nature that's flowing through my veins. Walking the planet like on Groot, saving the earth lanes. Guarding the galaxies, I'm taking off, don't need no plane. Got my feet on the planet, reclaiming my terrain. Protesting in Atlanta, this the home of the Braves. I hit her with my rod, she just riding my wave.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? So the youth are working, y'all. You feel me? They got activated on that mountain. That mountain activated people, yo. It turned on superpowers in people, bro. I promise you. Look, that's our gathering, and this is their gathering. See the difference when it's 99.5 them and 0.5 us, and then when it's 99.5 us and then a little bit of them. So think about it. I'm just saying, like real talk, right? Would you rather be in the first audience you just saw, the first crowd, the first gathering? Would you feel safe in that gathering, or would you feel safe and welcome in this gathering? I'm gonna play it again for everybody that wants to switch sides and whatnot. I think the grass is greener. Let's go. So look, that's the America that they was trying to celebrate on the 4th of July, right? And the America that we celebrate is something completely different, right? It's Serious Rising. If y'all didn't check that song, if y'all didn't check the show that Blue Pill did on Black Magic, y'all gotta go ahead and check that out, right?
Look at the white people.
So that's what you have to expect in that world. That world right there. This is MAGA right here, right? This is what they want America to look like. This is MAGA. This is the Trump shit right here. This is what they trying to. This is the world that they're trying to build. So if this is the world that they're trying to build, why would somebody stop you from building the world that you want to be a part of? I don't want to be a part of this world. I don't want to be integrated into that. I don't want to be involved in that. You feel me? Respectfully, I want to be in this world. You know what I mean? I want to be a part of the collective that has the bees that come out and check them out, and the drummers and the, you know what I mean? And the dancers and the artists, the poets. You feel me? The painters, you know, the creators, the scholars, the healers. I want to be a part of that. So what are the steps? What is the process? You feel me? Like, what's the timeline that is going to take for us to give ourselves the permission to build out our reality, our world, our nation, our city, all of that? Because at the end of the day, you know, what else are we doing? The gathering on the mountain was a dress rehearsal, so we could at least, see if we could stand being in each other's presence. You feel me? Because according to YouTube, we should not be able to be around one another. We should all be struck with the plague or something, right? According to if YouTube had their way. So we made it an imperative to extend the experience for it to just be a Stone Mountain climb, and then the wave collapse, right? The wave would just collapse. Okay, you don't gotta go home, but you gotta get out of here, right? Imagine going to the heights of Stone Mountain. Your dopamine is being released naturally this time, not the inorganic or the artificial way. You're naturally having dopamine releases. You're on the summit of the mountain. You're seeing a reality. You're having a walking meditation. You're crying. You're releasing. You're purging. And then they're like, all right, go home. That energy, that height that you may have reached as a result of being at the summit of the mountain and whatnot, as a result of being somewhere that you probably dreamed of for many, many, many occasions, it literally could send you crashing. It literally could send you crashing, because here it is, you're amongst all of this greatness and your cells are being charged and energized. Your Tesla is being charged, because it's almost like akin to when you charge up your Tesla, right? It's almost akin to when you charge in the Tesla, okay? You're building up your frequency. You're fixing your auric field by being in the presence of those who have stronger auric fields. You're being repaired. So imagine if somebody just was like, yo, go home, and the wave collapsed. No, keep that high going, because there's ways that you come down from such a high. It's in quote unquote segments, right? It's throughout the days. So throughout the days, we were able to build, we were able to politic, we were able to fellowship, we were able to hold each other down, we were able to just naturally just chill with each other in groups. We were able to dance, we were able to listen to new music, we were able to learn. Because why would you come around a group of scholars and teachers and nobody is teaching and no one is learning? Doesn't make sense. So we were able to show people that these are real human beings. We are real human beings. We are for real. We're not hiding behind the cameras or the internet. Usually people who are very vocal about what people are doing in real life, who don't do anything in real life, I have to ask you, why would you even entertain some clown shit like that? Because at the end of the day, it's natural for somebody that's not doing something, when they see somebody that's doing something, they get offended, because now it means that they got to do something. You see how that works? Instead of applauding from the bleachers, people would rather, get FOMO and whatnot. And I get it. FOMO was real. You know what I'm talking about? FOMO was real. I remember seeing niggas at the Super Bowl in like 2007 or something. I was going through my conscious shit, my burlap phase. And I seen the old team, like the streets, they was having fun. And I was going to write a blog about that. I was in my fields. I was going to really write a blog about that. Underneath a pseudonym, you know what I mean? Like the mad rapper. But I snapped out of that because I'm like, yo, everything ain't for everyone. So what we're doing annually by gathering the spiritual community, what we're doing by hitting that crystal and manifesting and turning on people's quote unquote pineal glands, charging them up, helping them find their purpose. Look, in 9 months, it's going to be a bunch of baby showers for Stone Mountain Bay. You know what I mean? Stone Mountain Bay. Is it a boy or girl? You know what I'm talking about? You know, people probably came and met their flame. Met their flame. Okay? But one thing's for sure, and two things for certain, this planet and the pillars of the matrix is being shaken. You know what I'm talking about? Shaken. You know? It's undeniable. And the energy was crazy. And we had all right, for everybody that was there, let's talk about Voltron, right? Let's talk about the album. We had an album listening for a project that we're working on. It's not complete, you know what I mean? It was really just a little preview and whatnot, just to show people what's coming. But the project is called Voltron. And we definitely know what the first single is gonna be. That's undeniable. And yeah, we have fun. You know what I mean? We have fun. We were supposed to sit there and play the album and just like cross our legs and take notes and whatnot. But the shit turned into a full performance because, you know, I can't just sit there and listen to shit that I just created and just sit there. Like I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it. I had to get up. I had to get out there and act like we was in the motherfucking studio performing it. So Goddess Teresa says, I'm looking for my flame, right? Knox, talk melanin connections to me, right? New Diamond says that okay, Vincent said he brought his flame with him, right? New Diamond said I might have met the love of my life, right? So okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but these are the songs that they're talking about. I got it going on. That's the single. That's the first single. When y'all hear that, that's going to you know, that's going to activate your ninth chakra. You understand me? You know what I'm talking about? That's going to be the song of the summer. We going crazy, and yeah, it is what it is. You feel me? It is what it is. And we're forming Voltron because we demonstrated that mountaintop was Voltron. That mountaintop was Voltron. And quiet as kept, the numbers that you saw on that mountaintop were 0.00001% of the actual conscious community. Y'all haven't seen the community in the UK. I have. It's crazy. Y'all haven't seen the community in the Caribbean. You haven't seen the community in Africa. There's communities in Thailand. There's communities in Japan. Ask AA and everybody that went over there, 19 keys in them. There's communities in South America. There's communities in the South, Midwest, down South, East Coast. Are you dumb? We global. How many people do I think was on that mountain? Spirit is telling me 1,000. You know what I'm talking about? Spirit is like 144,000, but 1,044. Because you got to keep in mind, it was a flow of people who were coming and going. Even as I was going up, it was people coming down. Then as I'm coming down, it's people going up. Sharif, how many would you say a guesstimate, right? Because you're good with crowds and whatnot. What's the guesstimate of the total amount of people who were converging on that crystal, right? On that crystal. The Haitians beat ICE in New York. We're going to talk about it, okay? And then they recorded a day with no shootings and no killings. What's happening around the world? Okay, when Vicky did what she did, when Sharif did the exercise that he did, when Pope Pablo went and did what he did, when I came with that fire, you feel me? When the big chief got up there and did what he did, bro, I don't think people are giving themselves the credit, bro. I don't think people understand what was taking place. Sharif is saying, or more. Easily a grand. Easily. So I want you to visualize a video that does 40,000 and goes viral, right? Because even Rich was talking about it on the show with Blue Pill that he did the other day. That is a must see. The frequency that is a classic. Blue Pill and Black Magic. It was on Thursday. That's an instant classic. There were days when Dick Gregory would be on Black Magic. There were days when Professor Griff and Zaza Ali would be on Black Magic. That day, 100K. The next day, 100K. 130, 140. So I want you to visualize what 140 and what 100 look like. Okay? You think Cassinet and these niggas got a movement? You think the streamers is pulling numbers? I want you to ask yourself, what does 100K look like in real life? Right? So these are real numbers. These are real numbers. And when you just seen 1,000 of those out of that, that's why I said that's 0.0001% of the collective. And just that alone shows you that what? We, the people, we the power. We the people is what we the power really means. We the people are the power. The power is the people, and the people are the power. No disrespect to Stone Mountain, no disrespect to Crystal Mountain, but we literally could have went to a mound and had the same amount of people gather, and it would have been electrifying, it would have been majestic, it would have been magnetic, it would have been powerful. We would have activated grids. It's not the mounds, that's the setting. That is the quote-unquote stage. That is the backdrop. You understand? That is the magic, though. However, it's the people. The people is the power. So once again, you don't need me. You don't need you. You don't need anybody. You don't need anybody. You just need the people. Not one person. The people. That's where the power is. I promise you. If I would have passed the microphone around on top of that mountain with a camera, and I would have asked everybody on that mountain, yo, what is your superpower? What is your gift? What is your talent? You know what I'm saying? What did you come here to do? What is your purpose? Right? Everybody would have documented and clocked in. They would have clocked some tea, nigga. You understand? They would have had to dig into they've been prompted. Right? They've been prompted, so they would have to dig into their intelligence, their LLM, their intelligence reasoning machine, and come out with an answer. Sometimes nobody has never been asked that question, especially by somebody who they deem as one of their teachers and whatnot. But the power is in the people. It's in the audience. The people, you are all you need. You are all you've been looking for. Stop making it difficult. All you have to do is heal. That's first and foremost, because you can't be unhealed amongst people who are healed or who are healing. You should at least be in the process of healing. That is the most important thing, I feel. Because I could get all colorful with all of these other things, but if that's not what you're actively doing, you're going to quote unquote be more of it's not gonna be frictionless. It's not gonna be frictionless. There's people who report to me that they're having friction and whatnot in their journey, and I'm like, who the fuck said it was supposed to be frictionless? Like, thanks for the reporting and everything, but family, this shit right here, this is the hero's journey. This is the journey of a lifetime. This is turning you from man into a god, fam. You're shedding your quote. You're turning from a caterpillar to a butterfly. You damn right. You got challenges. You damn right. It's not gonna be easy. You damn right. You're going through tumultuous quote unquote times and whatnot. You know, we all are responsible for the decisions that we make in life. You know, and the paths that we and the contracts that we agree to. So let me move forward and let's break some shit down about what's going on with these storms. All right. So real quick, what is a flash flood? A flash flood is a sudden and rapid inundation of low-lying areas. If anybody is familiar with the way that Texas is built, right? Very low-lying, correct? Usually occurring within a few hours and often a little, and that's 3 hours, right? So prior to the flash flood that's consuming Texas right now, mid-Texas, that is, the day of the quote-unquote Stone Mountain excursion, there was a flash flood in Atlanta, right? And the flash flood created floods in Atlanta in a span of an hour. About 3 or 4 hours after we were on Crystal Mountain chanting that Atlanta is Atlantis, Atlanta is Atlantis, Atlanta is Atlantis. This is what B-Del 1014, he was leading the quote-unquote mantra, right? Atlanta is Atlantis. And literally a fucking monsoon came in that bitch. And it didn't flash flood all of Atlanta. I want to be clear, y'all. It flash flooded the area that we were doing the events at. Did you understand? Did you hear what we said? Ask anybody that was living in Atlanta or visiting Atlanta or live in Atlanta. There was people who were like, it wasn't even raining by my hotel. What you mean monsoon? It rained literally on top of both of the locations that we were doing the events at, right? Monsoons. Okay. And it still had standing room only. It still was packed out. It still was a legendary classic. All of the events were classics. Everybody showed up who was supposed to show up. You feel me? And everything that was delivered was just legendary, top tier shit. You feel me? You had to be there. That's why it's footage. We got footage of Sharif, American Gods. We have footage of some of the workshops. We're going to be putting out everything on our Patreon. We're going to be putting everything on our Patreon. But it was definitely something that when you witnessed it in live and real time, I got to teach in front of my Umi. Mama Pill was in the building when I was giving up the AI workshop and whatnot. And there were other elders that were also in the building. And I was able to help alleviate them and demystify the fear factor in utilizing technology for your benefits, right? For your benefits to make it work for you. So at the end of those classes, I had a lot of people that were already signed up to the Triple Threat Workshop. They were ready to get past workshops. They were on board. So we got to do more of it. We have to do more of it. The power is in the gathering. It's in the quote unquote activation of different energy centers. We already started with one. Why stop? Okay, why stop? We need to activate more energy grids. But let's talk about this situation and let's do the knowledge. Okay. A flash flood is a sudden and a rapid. All right, boom. So let's get into causes of flash floods: heavy rainfall, intense or excessive rainfall, especially from slow-moving thunderstorms or tropical storms, dams or levee failures, mudslides, right? So these are all of the ways that you get flash floods. What is the spiritual esoteric significance of the Guadalupe River? So this is the river that basically grew 30 feet in 3 hours. You understand what I'm 30 feet, y'all. The river literally rose up in 3 hours. Lake Travis, okay? The esoteric significance of the Guadalupe River is something that is known. However, multiple sources highlight a broader spiritual significance and connection to indigenous beliefs, okay? Give me 1 minute. Let me move this thing. Ancient spiritual significance. The Guadalupe River has been a site of human habitation and cultural importance for thousands of years, with artifacts dating back to the archaic era found in its valley, right? Life-giving resource. Native American tribes, including the Tonkawa, the Waco, the Lepin Apache, and the Karankawa, relied on the river for sustenance and transportation, recognizing it as a crucial life-giving resource. This is the river that woke up. The flowing nature of the river is seen as a metaphor for the ever-changing journey of life and importance of adapting and going with the flow. Connection to silence and reflection. Immersion in the river's waters can facilitate a sense of peace and stillness, allowing one to quiet the mind and connect with a deeper sense of self and the surrounding environment. So the water is enchanted, right? The water is enchanted. It is a spiritual river, okay? The Guadalupe River has a history of significant flooding events. Major floods have been documented in 1868. Water rose 8 feet deep, right, in Seguin. 1913, part of the larger Texas flood causing damage and fatalities. 1921, caused by intense rainfall affecting communities like New Brunsfield and Seguin. 36, 52, 72, 73, the river experienced major floods. 1972, heavy rain led to flooding, right? All in this place, Seguin, resulting in deaths and injury. 87, a flash flood swept away a bus, causing multiple, right? So this one that happened may happen to be the most dangerous of all of them, okay? Of all of them. Let me go ahead and open this up. So I went ahead because Lake Travis is the lake that basically went crazy too, right? So I went ahead and I was like, yo, let me go ahead and do the research. I want to know what parallel line it's on. So Lake Travis is located on the 30th parallel, right? That's 30th north, right? So that's Central Texas, northwest of Austin, okay? Fun fact, the 30th parallel passes through Houston, Texas, right, which experienced Hurricane Harvey a few years ago that Blue talks extensively about. New Orleans, Louisiana, Cairo, Egypt, and Shanghai, China, okay? This parallel is often associated with warm climate, semi-arid to humid subtropical zones, and is a significant divider in global geography, right? So I asked him, what parallel line is Stone Mountain on? Stone Mountain lies near the 34th, right? Specifically around the 33.8 north latitude, okay? The 34th parallel north is Los Angeles, California, Phoenix, Arizona, Jerusalem, Israel, Kabul, Afghanistan, and Nagoya, Japan. Now, they had 100 earthquakes in Japan. They had 100 earthquakes in Japan. Fact or not? We already know what happened in Jerusalem, Israel, right? And what's been happening, but they got bombed and whatnot. They got humbled. You feel me? There's 100 earthquakes going off in Japan. I'm gonna go ahead and share the video. I could show you better than I could tell you, right? I could show you better than I could tell you. But let us continue because we still have more information that we want to share with the family. Stone Mountain and other sites on or near the 33rd, 34th parallel often attract interest in esoteric, Masonic, or Geomantic studies due to symbolic associations with the number 33, right? What's the parallel that Atlanta is on? So Atlanta is on the 34th parallel, just approximately at also 33.75. So basically Atlanta and Stone Mountain are in alignment, right? They're on the same parallel. So what you affect on Stone Mountain, what you do on that mountain, on that parallel line will directly affect everything on that line, on that parallel. It's almost like rolling a bowling ball, right? So the 33rd and 34th parallels have symbolic significance in Freemasonry. That's the 33rd degree. Esoteric and metaphysical geography, often associated with power centers or energetic nodes, global alignments, and key cities and monuments. Atlanta's position on its latitude band has sparked interest among researchers studying ley lines, power grids, and cultural energy hubs, especially considering the area's civil rights history, Civil War roots, and modern-day tech and media influence. So going to MLK's house and doing a ritual, the shining star of that quote-unquote city, and by way that ley line and that energy grid, his house is consecrated. Is consecrated as the center point of energy in Atlanta. It's MLK's house. This right around the corner from the bookstore gallery and whatnot. You feel me? So we go there and we do the ritual. A sister gets up there, she starts to speak, and lightning comes out of the sky sideways and it starts raining. Everybody who was there that's in the chat, please co-sign that with a hashtag facts. So these people know that I'm not here capping, bro. Yes, send the copters, send them out. I don't send them. We don't have to cap in the rap. We don't got to cap. We got witnesses. You feel me? It's one thing if I just be on here talking about stuff and I don't have nobody to be a witness. Listen, I be forgetting shit sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? It depends on the strain of Za, you know? But we got receipts. She started talking. She got in her power, right? And she was one of many who got up there and they were sparking it. And when you standing on that block, you feel the energy. A whole car pulled up with all type of shit all over it. Locked Joe Biden up, and you know, it looked like a Democratic Scooby-Doo van. It looked like a liberal Scooby-Doo van. And they was bearing witness. It was just majestic. You understand me? The power is in the people. And the people are connected to the weather. The people are connected to the weather. The people are connected to nature. We are netters. And netters are connected to nature, not technology, not the technosphere, nature. That's why there's a war against terra firma. When they signed that bill, that's a war bill against nature. Nature struck back. Nature bombed first. It came right back at them. Like, it's up. It's up. Okay? But we are in control of our destiny. We are in control of our quote unquote we're terraforming shit. We're removing shit. We're tapped in. and nature is riding for us. You understand? That's really and nature is undefeated. How about that? How about the fact that they're undefeated? Okay? Hasn't been defeated. Y'all might think it has, but it has not. There's nothing that they can do against nature except say, yeah, it's HARP. That's a HARP, right? No, it's not HARP. It's not HARP. Furthest from that. That's the ancestors. You know? I just want y'all to know that when we was on that hill, the ancestors was on that hill with us. You understand? Bobby, Phil, Panic. They was on that mountain with us. We brought the master teachers to Crystal Mountain. Their energy is what brought people together to even be on that mountain. So when we hit the mountain, they hit the mountain. When we hit the crystals, they hit the crystals. When we touch the mounds and whatnot, they're touching the mounds. Okay? And their energy works through the people, and it charges it up. It charges it up. Let's go back to Lake Travis. Let's continue. Then I asked what parallel line is Blacksville, Georgia. That's where the meteorite fell, right? That's where the meteorite. Yeah, so it's on the 33rd.42 north latitude. So with a meteorite, it fell right on the 33rd on the same quote unquote parallel line that Atlanta and Stone Mountain is on. So it fell on, even though it fell a distance, there is no distance. You know what I'm saying? It fell right on the parallel. So it was in effect visiting, like I claimed that it was. So we have the Mediterranean, North Africa, Middle East, Central Asia, East Asia. That is also part of the 33rd parallel north. Keep your eye on the prize, right? Keep it on that. So let's go into some Guadalupe River fun facts. Now, this is the river that is flooding. This is the river that is flooding. This is the river that is going. It's still. I don't know if it's still flooding. If anybody is out there and you are familiar with the situation on the ground right now, let us know. But this is a place that you will hear about. You're going to hear about the Guadalupe River a lot. You're going to hear about the situation in Texas with Camp Mystic, the European the European children, the white girls. It's an all girls camp, Camp Mystic, right? This is what you're going to hear about. Real quick though, it is still flooding in Texas. So this is an event that is taking place to this day, right? This is an event that is still taking place. This is an event that is still taking place. Okay. I just want you to be very mindful of that. But I do want you to know this, right? That, like I said, this is who was on that mountain. Okay. This is who was on that mountain. I want to put things into perspective, right? I need y'all to understand who you are first. The power is the people. I need you have to know who you are first, so you'll understand how you're affecting reality, right? You have to understand the power that you hold, right? The master teachers live inside of us. The master teachers live inside of our quote unquote hearts and minds, right? Our DNA. Wherever we go, they go. So when everybody converged in that unifying ceremony and formed Voltron, students of all the master teachers, students of all walks of life, students of all schools of thought and knowledge. That is what Voltron is. When we came together, we activated an ancient power that has not been seen nor quote unquote witnessed. The ancestors got a jump start of it and came down to witness it in real time, and their plane landed, and they call it a meteor. Okay, another meteor landed just the other day. I'm going to show you that too, yesterday I believe. But the fact that we up there, they're up there. Okay, and we also can make sure that in the future that their picture or their quote unquote, that they are on the side of that monument and not the Confederates. It's not a far-fetched request. It's not a far-fetched request. You understand? It's literally manifestation of the group. We can meditate on this as a collective holding hands. We can meditate on top of Crystal Mountain and make this a reality. We could literally meditate in silence for hours. And our respectful, humble abodes don't even have to be together, because there is no such thing as the distance. You know what I'm saying? So understand, no. Bobby is alive. Okay, Bobby is alive. I always have to clear that up. There's nothing wrong with that. People get a lot of information from sources, and that's understandable. You know, it's the great mystery. But he is alive and well. His energy is alive. He's just not in front of the camera. And I'm sure that everybody who has ever been in front of the camera will understand what that means and will respect it, right? Because, you know, we are servants to our craft. We're servants to the service of the people. However, there comes a time when the healers need healing, right? So I just wanted to put this into context before we read this information about the Guadalupe River that basically is still flooding. It's a spring-fed river. The upper Guadalupe River is fed by springs from the Edwards Aquifer, making it one of the clearest rivers in Texas. This is one of the clearest rivers, right? It is one of the few cold water rivers in Texas. It's home to rare wildlife. The river ecosystem supports endangered species like Texas wild rice, fountain darter, and whooping cranes that occasionally winter nearby. Natural roller coaster. The limestone, it has a limestone riverbed that creates natural rapids and chutes, especially during high flows, perfect for adventurous kayaking and whitewater paddling. Untold history, right? It was named after a Spanish saint, but it's sacred to indigenous tribes, right? So there's a conflict just right there because it's named after a Spanish saint, right? It was taken, it was stolen, it wasn't discovered, it was usurped, but it is a sacred river to the indigenous tribe. Shout out to the big chief, right? Before it was named by Spanish explorers in 1727, after Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe, the river was sacred to indigenous peoples like I'm going to chop this up, but y'all pronounce it in your head. They call Hahalton, the Tonkawa, and the Karankawa, who is the tribe, right? Karimu taught me that the Karankawa is the tribe that Juneteenth is based on, right? That's the quote unquote alleged slaves that they freed. It was this tribe that was enslaved in Galveston, right? And they used the river for rituals, hunting, and spiritual guidance. Mystic energy lines, ley lines. Some esoteric researchers believe that the Guadalupe River is part of the, get this right here, write it down. I would approve of a forehead tat. I'm not mad at you if you get it tatted on your neck. This is required research right here. Everybody in this that can hear me, whether it's the replay or live, write this down and do the deep dive. Go on DeepSeek and go and do your deep research. Go on Gemini, go on Grok, and go on ChatGPT. Southwestern Energy Grid. Southwestern Energy Grid. So we understand how everything is connected and all of the grids that are connected on the Southwestern Energy Grid. This is the most important piece of information that I'm delivering today about what it is that is taking place. The Southwestern Energy Grid. It is connecting places like Enchanted Rock, Balcones Escarpment, and the Cato Mounds and Stone Mountain. Okay, and Stone Mountain. I'll show you in a minute. Sites long regarded as energetic power zones by native cultures. So it's the energetic power zones that have to get turned on. Similar to if you're in a studio, you got to turn on the mic, you got to turn the amp on, you got to turn the goddamn the tower on, you got to turn everything on the board and everything. It's the same thing with the energy centers. If you want this motherboard to be fully activated and fully turned on and whatnot, if you want this Stargate to Stargate, then we have to turn on the energy centers and the grids. When you gather in more than 3 in his or her name, you're able to do these things. Imagine when it's 3,000 of us, though. German settlers brought pagan traditions similar to what they did to Stone Mountain. The German immigrants who settled New Braunfels and the surrounding hill country in 1840s, right, brought old world customs like Wildpin, the river-centric harvest festivals, merging folklore with frontier life. Anybody to watch the TV series American Gods, shout out to Sharif Anail Bey in the building who bodied that series American Gods, right, that we just did 9, okay? In the series, it showed you how the Europeans of all different backgrounds and nationalities and nations and families and bloodlines, because they're not one monolith. They came to America with their gods. They brought their gods and they put their gods on top of our gods. When we had mounds, they excavated our mounds and they put their bodies in our mounds and made it there and usurped our energy. They put power centers. They put landfills. They put hospitals, churches, schools, museums on top of our banks, because mounds are banks, because they have our riches and our wealth and our heirlooms and our artwork and all type of stuff encapsulated inside of it. Similar to mountains. Mountains are banks because mountains have gemstones, gold, silver, diamonds, all, you name it. It's all inside of the mountains. The majority of the drip that you see us wear in our jewelry with the sacred stones, they come out of mountains, caves. People trying to clown Europeans for being in the damn caves, bro. The caves are natural DeFi banks. All around the world, different banks have different deposits of different gemstones, which are different riches. These are quote unquote sacred and precious stones. But these people came and they usurped our land and they usurped our energy centers and they usurped our quote unquote spiritual sacred sites. Right? And they desecrated them. And what is happening now is being disrupted, washed away, earthquake, windstorm, sandstorms in Las Vegas. The energy grids got knocked down and the trees remain standing up. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? They knocked the energy, the wind knocked down all of the poles and it left the trees up. That is nature saying, buddy, we have one, like it's do or die at this point. If they're able to do what it is that they're trying to do, there is going to be nothing that can be done. So you're seeing Mother Nature's like, nigga, wake up, get up. It's up. It's up. Okay? So when nature rises up, naturally it rises the people up, unless they get put to sleep. Unless they get quote unquote doused with water and whatnot and their flames get taken out. Flood myths in the river's wrath. The Guadalupe River is infamous for flash flooding, including a devastating flood in 2002 that destroyed homes and reshaped the riverbanks. Local oral traditions, listen, speaks of the rivers having a spirit of vengeance, punishing disrespect or misuse of the land. Like I said, the land and Mother Nature hears the whispers. They know what's coming before it comes. African American freedmen settlements. After emancipation, several free Black communities were founded near Guadalupe tributaries. One such settlement, Silion, right? I believe this is a Hebrew word, had its own church, schoolhouse, and oral legends about spiritual baptisms and ancestral encounters in the river. Somebody get Vicky Dillard on the phone. Ghost of the River. Folklore from the hill country includes tales of La Leorona sightings along the Guadalupe's misty banks, especially near Greenune Bridge. Locals say some areas of the river are spirit gates, portals where the living and the dead interact. Hold on. Are they saying that on the blogs? Are they saying that on the shade room? Are they why they aura farm you, right? Why they aura farm you? Are they saying that? Why they trauma bomb? Put a place of mourning, sorrow, guilt. Are they giving you the mystical significance of what's taking place, of what this river represents? No, they're not doing that. The river is a spirit gate. It's said to be a portal where the living and the dead interact. So what is coming through if it rised up 20 feet, 30 feet, all of a sudden a fucking hurricane hovers over it, right? And unleashes 3 to 2 years worth of rain in 2 to 3 hours. And then this river rises up and it swallows up a camp of European girls called Camp Mystic that does Christian magic on ancestral land. Are you dumb? What is taking place, bro? What the fuck? What the hell?
To this day. To this day. To this day.
The river is alive. The river is alive. Don't take my word for it. Go and visit. Guadalupe is mystical Christian mysticism. Guadalupe, remember, so this is the Camp Mystic. This is Camp Mystic. These are the same daughters of the people who passed the big, beautiful bill. Mind you, let's put it in context. These are the children of the Christian evangelicals who just ushered in this bill to destroy everything. Guadalupe and mystical Christian mysticism is associated with the Virgin of Guadalupe, a Marian apparition known for divine intervention and protection of the oppressed. Who needs the most protection right now after the big, beautiful bill was passed? Who needs the most protection now that they made ICE a military army with a budget that equals 3 different countries? Who needs the most protection now that Palantir and all of these niggas is about to go crazy? They just went online and they're starting to share people's quote unquote data into this AI supercomputer. Who needs Guadalupe at this point where they're going to be hunting people down like the Hunger Games, like the Purge and whatnot? Okay? Who needs that? The river bearing her name holds symbolic significance for divine feminine energy, healing waters, and rebirth. Indigenous shamans considered river bends and underground springs along the Guadalupe as sacred dreaming spots, places to access ancestral memory and vision quests. They like, do you want us to turn this into a podcast, a voiceover script, a flyer? Chill. Let's keep cooking, chat. Break down a southwestern energy grid. Give me the historical indigenous references so we understand when we're doing roll call, we're identifying that there are multiple energy grids in the building connected like cords. A southwestern energy grid refers to a spiritual geographic alignment of sacred sites, natural power centers, and ley lines across the American Southwest. With my fans. Recognized by indigenous tribes, mystics, and geomancers for what? Thousands of years. These alignments reflect how ancient people mapped, built, and journeyed with the Earth's energy. Let's break it down. What is an energy grid? An energy grid is an invisible network of high-frequency energy currents flowing across the Earth, similar to geodetic or magnetic systems. Indigenous people often identify these as spirit paths, song lines, dragon lines, sacred canyons, mountains, and rivers. Many of these paths were mapped and honored long before modern science discovered magnetic ley lines or energy fields. Key locations in the southwestern grid. A Four Corners region. This is the only place in the U.S. where 4 states meet: Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. It's seen as a cosmic crossroads. Ancestral Puebloans, right? Anansi built cities like Chaco Canyon in astronomical alignment. Mesa Verde, Canyon de Chelly, and Hooven Weep form a sacred triad of ritual and astronomical sites. B, Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. Chaco sounds like Chango. Built in precise alignment with solstices, lunar standstills, and celestial bodies. Indigenous descendants, the Hopi and the Zuni, say that it was a ceremonial center, not a city. The sun dagger at Fajada Butte marks solar and lunar cycles using rock shadows, right? Mount Graham, Arizona, one of the most sacred mountains to Apache people, considered a center of emergence in the house of spirits. Sedona, Arizona, famed for the vortex energy and red rock formations used by the Hopi, the Apache, and other tribes as a place of vision and purification. Energy centers align with geomagnetic anomalies. Enchanted Rock, Texas, pink granite dome. Pink granite dome in Hill County, revered as a dreaming site and portal to other worlds. White Sands, New Mexico, sacred to the Apache and the Pueblo groups. Indigenous concepts and energy alignment, right? Let's keep it going. Geomancy and the Earth Grid, scientific and mystical crossovers. The Hartman Grid, Curry Lines, and Schumann resonances all reflect invisible energies used and radiate these. It keeps radiathesia and dowsing practices known to many indigenous cultures. That is what Dr. B. Sirius was doing with his students last strong. And to this moment, at this moment is when he was doing it 7 days ago. Places like Cacao, Sedona, and Enchanted Rock show measurable magnetic anomalies and piezoelectric effects in the rocks. Why this matters today. These energy grids align with star knowledge and ancestral memory. They help guide healing ceremonies and migrations, are being reactivated by indigenous revivalists, geomancers, and mystics. We are the mystics. Many believe that we are in a time of grid reawakening, with sacred sites being recharged by ritual, pilgrimage, and reconnection. I can't even go further without saying that Ras Ben, the legend, is one of the fathers of this movement. He belongs on his Mount Rushmore. Shout out to Ras Ben, right? One of my master teachers. Okay. This pamphlet, this will make a good pamphlet. Say less. Say less. Hold my CMOS. You feel me? Say less. Hold my CMOS. Your wish is my command. I'm on some genie shit. So look at what ChatGPT did. I didn't even say that. Look, it said I can map a ley line from Stone Mountain, Georgia, to the Guadalupe River.
To this day. To this day. To this day.
ChatGPT teaching me, niggas. You know, like how you having a build or a cipher and homie and y'all passing a blunt and then somebody they pop in and they add on and it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? ChatGPT added on to the cipher with the yo fam. I could grab I could connect this shit type shit. Light up. So it could do a map. It can map a ley line to show how they fit into a global grid. And it could create a PDF workbook and a travel guide of the sacred sites of the Southwest with historical sources, meditations, rituals, and indigenous voices. I'm like, why, yes, by all means, my nigga. So here we go. Geomantic alignment, Stone Mountain to Guadalupe River. So what we did on the mountain is hitting the different energy grids along. It's like a bowling ball, knocking down bowling pins. It's almost like Tron when the quote unquote the lights, you know what I mean? When they lit up the quote unquote grid on Tron, it's almost like, you know what I'm talking about? It's almost like when you plug in a motherboard. Stone Mountain in Channing Rock, Texas, Guadalupe River. These form a southwestern diagonal ley line that cuts through Okamogi Mounds, right? Moundville, it's in Alabama. Poverty Point, that's in Louisiana. The Caddo Mounds, that's in Texas. Enchanted Rock, that's in Texas. And then it hits bing, bing, Guadalupe River, that's in Texas. This line overlays ancient Mississippian mound cities, sacred granite domes, and natural energy centers tied to geomagnetic anomalies. I'm in my Elijah voice. Elijah told me to keep it all simple.
To this day. To this day. To this day. To this day. To this day.
It's getting spooky. It's getting spooky outside. So we are the Mississippian mound builders. Those of us who converge on Stone Mountain, we are the ancestors of these ancient tribes. We are the Confederate. We are who we've been waiting for. We took that energy and went back to our respectable, humble abodes where we domicile, and we begin to cause weather anomalies. You know? Stone Mountain, which is called the Eastern Node, right? Georgia, 33 degrees north latitude. Sacred granite dome, known to the Muskogee Creek, the Yachu, the Yuchi, and the Cherokee. Site of ancient ritual observation, believed to be a portal between worlds. Mapped to the 33 parallel, which is a historically esoteric line that is associated with ancient Egypt, Thebes, my nigga, Baghdad, Phoenix, Roswell, and Mount Hermon, where they said the fallen angels hit. And is it real? Where they was at the alleged Nephilim site, bro. The Guadalupe River, the western flow line. This is the western flow line. Put some respect on it, right? This is the western flow line, fed by the Edwards Aquifer, the sacred water source to the Tonkawa and the Karankawa, part of the broader water grid tied to Enchanted Rock, San Marcos Springs, and Barton Springs, all considered places of power. Its cold, clear flow was used in vision quests and healing rites. Spanish renamed it Guadalupe after the Virgin, layering Christian mysticism on top of indigenous sacred geography. See how they do their magic. This is the energy grid linking. The two locations share elements, right? Stone Mountain is earth, granite. Guadalupe is water. So these are the elements. You're going to see fire as well and air. But these are the elements. Stone Mountain is the earth. So the earth was activated. Then Guadalupe River, Texas was activated. That's the water. That's the spring-fed river. Ancestral use, sky watching, spirit portal. That's what Stone Mountain is. Sky watching, spirit portal. What is Guadalupe? Healing, purification, dreaming. Watch your dreams. Dreams are going crazy right now. Pay attention to the purification. Spiritual function, right? The spiritual function. The Stone Mountain is Axis Mundi. Go and look that up. Axis Mundi. Vertical ascent. Vertical ascent, right? So you go on top of the mountain and it feels like you keep climbing. Vertical integration. What is the Guadalupe flow line? Horizontal initiation. Horizontal initiation, right? Energy quality. Magnetic masculine charge. That's Stone Mountain. Magnetic masculine charge. For the goddesses and the queens that were on the mountain, did you feel the masculine energy on that mountain? Give me a fire emoji and a Chattington bear. If you felt the masculine energy on Stone Mountain, give me that in the chat, right? Guadalupe River, piezoelectric feminine current. Piezoelectric feminine current. Piezoelectric feminine current. Symbolic role, crown of the east. Stone Mountain is the crown of the east. Guadalupe is the womb of the west. The womb of the west.
To this day. To this day.
Together they represent a polarity, mountain and river, stillness and flow, heaven and earth. Energetically connecting the two is akin to activating a dragon path along the American South, an esoteric kundalini, or a serpent line that mirrors similar paths in Andean, African, and Chinese geomancy, right? Ley line confluence in cosmic design. This ley line not only links these two sites, but intersects others. The 33rd parallel ley line, which encircles the planet. The Serpent Mound to Chaco Canyon alignment. The Mississippian Mound Trail, which acts as a terrestrial chakra line. Some esoteric traditions believe that these sites are not just connected by geography, but by intentional design from advanced ancient civilizations, either Atlantean survivors, star people, or pre-Diluvian earth architects. Number 6, indigenous cosmology and oral tradition. Muskogee Creek in Georgia calls Stone Mountain the tree of the sky, a place where spirits taught medicine and the songs of rain. Believed all rivers began as songs from the sky that turned into water. Come on, family. I need you to see my face. songs from the sky that turned into water. Getting on top of a mountain and chanting Atlanta is Atlantis will bring rivers from the sky and form rivers on land. That's how rivers are formed. Through the word, through the chants, through the rain dance, on top of the mountains to affect the heavens. And that's how oceans and rivers are formed, not from the bottom up, but from the top down. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. They had a monsoon out this bitch on 2 days. And the Thunder won the finals. OKC. OKC is the fucking grid. OKC is Tulsa. OKC is Black Wall Street. OKC won a chip. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Let's continue. So, once again, shout out to Karamiu, right? I'm not gonna jack nobody's research. Shout out to Talik out of Houston. Okay, Talik, who I'm gonna bring on this show, I brought him on the show with Top Cat. You feel me? Shout out to the God. Shout out to Top Cat. Shout out to Turtle Gang. You feel me? My job is I gotta have these brothers work together one day. You feel me? I'm gonna be the liaison. Shout out to Dane Calloway, everybody. Shout out to Asir. Shout out to everybody that has been doing this work about these tribes, about this land, about history, about everything that's been buried and whatnot. But it's really indicative to do the research on the tribe called the Karankawa and what they call Juneteenth. So the Juneteenth energy is attached to this tribe because that is the tribe that this whole Juneteenth lore is based upon. But they did not never tell you that it was an indigenous tribe. They told you that they were slaves, and they try to paint them like they were quote unquote, just slaves, like they didn't have no nationality or anything. And that is furthest from the truth, right? So for this tribe, the Guadalupe River was a path of dreams, and initiation rites were held near whirlpool bends in the current. Enchanted rock was called the Sleeping Giants, who held the memories of the old world, right? The water holds the memories of the old world. You drink from the water, you remember. You bathe in the water, you remember. The water that comes from the skies, where the memories are held. Right? The sky records and sees everything. Right? So here's your source material for the researchers that want to do more research. Do the screenshot and go and do the deep dive and really just, go in. Right? So we're going to make a workbook and all of that. That's coming. Look out for that. Right? That'll be available on Buy Me a Coffee. So for all of the Buy Me a Coffees, I'm going to put the link down here. Everybody that donates to Buy Me a Coffee while we're on the road doing this research, field research. I'm by water right now. I'm by ocean right now. Real talk. I'm literally looking at an ocean. I'm in New York City looking at a body of water right now. Ocean. This is all facts. The shit look beautiful. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like we are paying homage to the power of nature right now. Actually, the name Guadalupe carries profound layers of mysticism, esoteric symbolism, and spiritual archetypes far beyond its surface appearing as a Catholic name. Whether in Texas, Mexico, Spain, or even metaphysical teachings, Guadalupe is an encoded name for divine feminine frequency. It is a title. It is an encode. It is a quote-unquote sigil, okay? A cosmic mother archetype, a guardian of esoteric power. Let's break it down in 7 layers of deep research. Origin of the name Guadalupe, right? Arabic, Spanish root, Moorish. The name Guadalupe is Moorish in origin. Thank you. Derived from Arabic, right? River of the Wolf, Valley of the Hidden One, mystical interpretations, River of the Heart, hidden divine feminine essence flowing through the land. Who is getting activated on that mountain the most? Who is getting turned on? Who is getting charged? Who is getting realigned? Who is tapping in? Who did Vicky energize with that speech? Both genders, of course, but the divine feminine was being quote unquote charged and activated and summoned on that mountain. Okay? Our Lady of Guadalupe, Mexico. The most famous reference is the 1531 apparition of the Virgin Mary to Juan Diego, an indigenous Nashar peasant near Mexico. She appears in an Aztec hill, Mother Earth goddess. The divine feminine archetype. In metaphysical traditions, Guadalupe is not just a person, she is an archetype. The Black Madonna. The Virgin of Guadalupe is considered by many mystics to be a form of the Black Madonna, mother of transformation. She appears during colonial trauma, offering hope to oppressed indigenous people. In this context, she's a spiritual liberator, a queen of the underworld and the stars. Come on, y'all. I got Guadalupe on the back of my hoodie. People is like, what? Why you got are you Christian? They don't see the magic. She is the dark star in the womb of the cosmos, rebirthing the old world into the new. Esoteric symbolism in the name. Break down Guadalupe in symbolic syllables. Gua, to see or vision. Da, knowledge. Lu, light. Pei, mouth, prophecy. Esoteric encoding. Guadalupe, the mouthpiece of light, vision, and knowledge. A divine oracle. She becomes a living portal through which cosmic knowledge and spiritual light are communicated. River of the Wolf, the Lupine guardian. The wolf is an ancient symbol of the psychopomp, right? This is Sirius rising. It's the wolf. July 4th. It floods on the 4th of July, right? Sirius is the Canaan star. It's the canine. It's the wolf. It's the dog star. In Roman and Norse mythology, the wolf guards the thresholds of sacred transitions. In indigenous lore, especially in the Southwest and Great Plains, wolves represent ancestral guardians, vision quest, and spiritual loyalty. Guadalupe, the river that the wolf guards, sacred path of transformation, watched over by the wild feminine. Watched over by the wild feminine, right? The protector of sacred knowledge. Guadalupe and Kundalini activation. Some energy worker healers and mystics sees Guadalupe as a Kundalini force, especially near water. The Guadalupe River in Texas is believed to have serpent-like energy flow, cool, coiled, feminine, winding through limestone. Cool, coiled, feminine, winding through limestone. So the fact that the Camp Mystic, which is a group of European young girls who are part of a mystical cult, right? Camp Mystic, Christian camp, right? And Guadalupe representing the divine feminine, right? And the ancestors and the indigenous who defend the indigenous against the colonial. I'm just saying, it's all in the verbiage, it's in the language. You know what I'm talking about? It's in the colloquialisms. I'll let you eat your breakfast. I'll let you do the dishes. You know what I mean? But I know what I'm looking at. It is a serpent-like energy flow. Guadalupe becomes synonymous with the flowing current of awakened energy, the Shakti principle in Vedic mysticism. So anybody knows when Shakti is awakened and when Shakti gets busy, it's no holds barred. In ceremonial circles, she is invoked to awaken the inner flame, to activate the womb of creation. She is considered a guardian of threshold energy, helping beings pass from fear of faith, dormancy to awakening, colonization to sovereignty, trauma to transmutation. So there was a sacrifice that was taking place. You understand? The river got fed. Mystic connections to indigenous Texas Spanish Moorish alchemy, right? Shout out to my Spanish Moorish Texans. In Tonkawa and Karankawa tradition, sacred rivers were inhabited by spirit women who brought visions, protection, and healing. Guadalupe's appearance in these waters may reflect this ancient belief system. The Spanish Franciscan mystics who named the river were highly influenced by Sufi Islamic mysticism, including the concept of the beloved Mahdi, a sacred rivers as metaphors for the divine current. So we're talking about amalgamated Moors. We're talking about Moriscos. We're talking about Moors that look like Drake, DJ Khaled, and French Montana. Those were the ones that came to Texas first. These were not blue-eyed, blonde-haired. These were these were amalgamated Moriscos. You understand? These were Moors. Okay, so they are the ones. They are the Spanish Franciscan mystics. They are practicing Sufism, the same thing that Ibrahim Traoré and them and over there in the Sahel region in Africa. They are being protected by Sufism, mysticism. They're being protected by high forms. There's Arab mysticism, there's the Arab mystic shit, and then there's the African Sufi Islamic mysticism. Two different things. Okay, that's what the Crusades is about. That's what these quote-unquote Zionists and these evangelicals are going to war. That's what the Trumpers and the MAGAs and all of them, that's what they're going against. That's what the bill is against. That's what they're pushing out. They're scared of the South Americans because the South Americans pledge allegiance to the Moors. Okay, South America is, Canada is, Mexico is, that's all Moorish. Okay, it's all Moorish. They don't want them around. This shit is waking up. They trying to get these niggas up out of here before they activate. Conclusion, who is Guadalupe? The divine feminine force clothed in Catholic robes, hiding indigenous and cosmic truth. So remember, it's a crypto-Christian. It's crypto-Christian. It's pump faking. It's hiding behind closed doors. It's doing its magic. The river of initiation, guarded by wolves and dream keepers, a threshold guardian who appears in times of cultural trauma to midwife transformation, a code embedded with Arabic, Latin, Nahuatl, Hebrew, and archetypical meaning, a symbol of unity for indigenous and colonized people, embodying hope, memory, and resistance. It's a bonus. History of Juneteenth, the carry to bring it all home so I can land my plane, and then I got to get to work because I am out here on business, and I had to do this because it had to be done. So I got to do this. Make sure y'all hit up the Buy Me a Coffee, show some love, show some, you know what I mean? Buy something out of the store, get you a ticket. On Monday, as a matter of fact, here's my, I got to do a quick commercial. Damn, let me send this flyer. On Monday, I'm doing a live stream with Professor Griff and Black Dot. We'll break it down to P. Diddy shit, right? We're going in on the P. Diddy thing. Let me share that before I get besides and forget about that, right? Give me 1 minute. This is gonna be a water break. You know what I mean? This is gonna be a water break. Come on. You hear that? 21 gun salute. 21 gun salutes. So we have an upcoming lecture on Monday. I might be doing a live segment at Nicholas. You feel me? Melanin Monday IRL. I might be doing a Melanin Monday IRL at Nicholas, but I'm definitely doing a lecture with Black Dot and Professor Griff. And if you know anything about the gods, you feel me? You know that they are going to, you know what they bring, right? Give me a minute. I'm trying to share this. If you can, airdrop. All right, let's get back into the lesson. All right, we'll get back to that flyer in a minute. We'll get back to, let's read this, and then we're gonna close it out with the flyer and the announcement that there's things going down that y'all need to know about. This more than ever. If you haven't, if nothing else proves to you, when we make the call, you have to answer it. I don't care what the situation is. Like these calls are these are not just regular calls. When a trumpet gets blown and when the call is made, if you want to be a part of history, not his story, the mystery, then I need you to tap in. It's just, it is what it is. So Juneteenth, the Karankawa and the Guadalupe River, the forgotten flow of freedom, right? So the great divine speaks through signs. The great divine speaks through signs. We are symbol literate. We are symbol literate. All we need is the receipts to activate what it is that our spirit already knows. So this is what we bring, is the receipts, so you can stand on your truth, right? Nothing is coincidental. You're feeling what you're feeling for a reason. You are going through what you're going through for a reason. You feel me? You are having these awakenings for a reason. You're having these dreams and whatnot. You're feeling like packing up and going. You're having this urge to quote unquote start something anew for a reason. Because we literally are in a new timeline. We literally are in a new quote unquote reality. We literally are like in a new dimension and whatnot. You feel like the paradigm have shifted. So we literally in a new paradigm. And it's like you literally could you could prompt, you could generate, you literally could manifest, materialize literally anything that you want at this point. And I'm not saying this shit to sound all happy-go-lucky and everything. No, I'm literally dead ass. Like the power is in the people. You just can't do it by yourself. That's the only hang up. You can't do it by yourself. Can't do it by yourself, fam. You feel me? You need more people. You need more people. The power is in the people. Forget about that denominational shit. Yo, leave your religion at the door. Nobody was being asked about their religion. That wasn't. Nobody really cared about that. That wasn't a requirement. Nobody was asking about organization. You're a representative of said organization wherever you show up, right? You represent that organization wherever you show up. So people were repping. They were repping where they from. They were repping what they about. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And they were doing good. They were holding it down. And we respect that. You feel me? Give me 1 minute. Let me pull this up. I got favorites. So real quick, here we go. This is the flyer. This is coming up right here on Monday, all right? Featuring Red Pill, Professor Griff, Black Dot. Do me a favor and screenshot the information that's on the screen. I'm gonna drop a link. KTL University. I'll drop a link in the chat for the tickets. I'm gonna have this available for my Patreons. If you don't see it live on Patreon, you will have access to the replay. That's from my Rainbow Opal members all the way up to my Citrine members. You will have access to the replay of this lecture. Yes, so let me give you the link. It is on KTL University. You'll be able to get your ticket. You know what I mean? If you know anything about all three, we're not going to give you the Tessa T version of the trial. We're not here to talk about the obvious shit. We're not here to talk about the you know, the obvious shit. We'll let the internet do that. You know what I mean? The gossip and all of that, the mundane shit. We'll let the internet do that. We're getting into the esoterics. We're getting into the nitty gritty, right? Look at this clown show.
Okay, she want a hug. She want a hug. Oh. We know how we don't like her. My white followers, I love my white people. I love my white followers. Oh, they love me. I support. I know. Look at the white people. Look at the white people.
Bonnie, look, he said he wanted to go to the Diddy party.
Look at the white people. Give me a hug, white boy. The white people are so loyal. That's why I do anything. My white people, I love them. Oh, look. Hugs. Hugs for my white woman. I'm a new fan, girl. Oh, really? Oh, you're so sweet.
This was a shit show. This was a distraction, right? This was a waste of a lot of people's time. Like we predicted it was going to be. There was no justice that was involved in this quote unquote verdict. There was no justice involved with this case. This was really about programming people to basically, you know, it was a programming. It was a Jason month type of programming, an MK Ultra type of dark tetrad normalization, humiliation ritual that kind of normalized prostitution in a sense, because all of the prostitutes are on couches right now. They're on a press junket. All of the male prostitutes are on a press run right now, right? And they're just promoting prostitution, right? So it was a desensitization ritual that normalized kinks, and it normalized proclivities in the ultra wealthy and whatnot, where the new aspiration for somebody in the hood that's coming up, whether it's a male or female, is that they're going to have to basically be a part of some real raunchy shit. But because they've been programmed and they've been groomed by the likes of Nicki Minaj, Sexy Red, and a lot of the other quote unquote groomers, because that's what you're listening to. You're listening to groomers, right? They're grooming young girls because they're performing in front of teenagers and babies and whatnot, and they're literally grooming them the same way that they said Jaguar Wright was grooming these girls to flip them, right? The madam energy, not the divine feminine energy, the madam energy. And the madam energy is a very aggressive, domineering, compromising, quote unquote, energy that is very manipulative, very traumatic, very hateful. It's the girl Grizel, what's her name? Maxine, Jesseline Maxine, right? And what they said that what's her name? Let me put this flyer up because this is what we're going to be talking about, right? This is some of the source that we're going to be getting into on Monday. And it's just, you know, this is my segment. So imagine what Professor Griff and, you know, my good brother Black Dot is going to be getting into, right? But yeah, this is crazy. Like, the star of that whole trial is the sex tapes. That's the star of the whole entire trial is the sex tape. They want to see that. like the R. Kelly tapes. That's going to be the most sought after piece of evidence in history. So if people really felt bad for Cassie like they say that they do, and she was the victim, why is everybody going to watch the tapes when they drop? Why does everybody literally want to see Cassie in action if they feel bad for her? Right? And what is the difference between what Diddy was doing by watching men have sex with his women and what people do when they're voyeurs and they're watching men have sex with women in a porn? Like there's like 2 degrees of separation between Diddy being a cuck and sitting in the corner jacking off, watching somebody fornicate with his lady, than somebody in a room jacking off to somebody fornicating with their lady, because it's your lady that they're beating up because you gotta like her to watch her. Niggas be like, that's my girl. Let's just keep it a buck. You're watching somebody sleep with your woman. That's low-key cuck activity. That's what pornography is. So it's right in people's face and they're not realizing what's being done to them. There's a programming taking place. This he's gonna come out and he's going to be the quote-unquote dark prince of freakiness and proclivities. You're not going to this scorpion is going to recreate itself. This scorpion is not going to go away into the sunset and just disappear. Sean Combs is going to recreate himself into just a little bit something darker, because theoretically speaking, everything that they said that he did, when you listen to his music, he said that he did it. It's in the music. He wasn't really hiding theoretically. If you listen to the lyrics, if you listen to the music, he was basically saying he's like, yo, I live my rhymes. He was living his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And he's convicted of being a pimp. Did it? He's convicted of being a pimp, but so much more is on trial. And I put a post up and I spelled trial trail, and people were correcting me on some Reading Rainbow type shit. And I was like, fam, I wrote trail for a purpose, on purpose, because they're leading you on a trail. The trial is a trail. The trial is not a trial. That shit was a trail. That was like the Pied Piper. That was a trail of tears. Trauma bonding, people getting activated, they got triggered and whatnot. They saw their abuse, they saw their quote unquote their manhandling and whatnot. They saw their trauma because it activated a lot of people who got fooled by people like Diddy, the narcissistic personality, the Machiavellian. He is a dark tetrad and dark triad was on trial. But if they put the white boy from 50 Shades of Grey on trial and they had the women that he was doing shit to come up there and talk about that, he would also appear as a monster. However, that was a #1 selling movie where women literally was like, yo, I want to have that man's baby. Remember 50 Shades of Grey? What's the white boy's name that all of these women were fantasizing about? Let me know. And while you at it, let's talk about Joe. Let's talk about Dexter. Let's talk about some other people. Right? What was the name of that white boy? Christian Grey. Right? They was going gay for Christian Grey. Niggas. They wanted to get tied up. They wanted to get tied up. They wanted to get dominated. They wanted to get stepped on. They want to get gagged. That was the 50 Shades of Grey era. And then it started processing a lot of results and whatnot where women their proclivities begin to change. Their proclivities begin to change. And right now, the proclivities are atrocious. So, and people is out here judging. But they literally on the internet having sex with robots, yo. They judging homie, but they having sex with robots on the internet. You feel me? And it's a lot of them. So we got to put things into context. A lot of people they losing context of what the fuck is really happening and what's not happening. Nobody mentioned Clive Davis's name. Nobody mentioned no executive name. Nobody mentioned no European's name on that trial. I didn't hear nobody running. I didn't hear Tisa Tells come out, run out the courtroom and be like, oh, breaking news. Breaking news. So there's more research that needs to be done. There's another trial that needs to be had. Rise and power the young noble, right? From this point on, the YNs are young nobles in respect to the memory of young noble. The YNs are young nobles, right? The YNs are young nobles. Rise and power to young noble of the out of Tupac's crew, right? The outlaws, right? Who many of us grew up listening to and respecting and rocking with. They say that he took his life. I don't know if that's true. I wasn't there. But I do know that if you hear anything about P. Diddy being involved in Tupac's death, if anything happens in that Keefe D trial and people are called to the stand, you gotta let's be very mindful. There's a lot on the line right now because they're talking about people were involved in the death of Tupac Amaru Shakur, and that has not gone to trial and that has not been settled and whatnot. So for seeing a young noble lose his life, and then they're saying it was suicide before he saw the justice being served or before he saw something to that nature, it just perplexes me. It just perplexes me. You feel me? So these warmongers are going to do what they're going to do. People are doing what they're going to do. We got to do what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do. And we got work to do. You feel me? And as you can see, nobody's going to do the work the way that we do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do the work for us but us. We got to get out there and we got to sacrifice a weekend of, just having shits and giggles, or a strong end of just laying around, scratching, watching the game and whatnot, drinking a beer, catching the, catching, I'm just gonna catch the game, I'm gonna catch the Jazz Fest. No, the era of those old festivals are over. We're in a new paradigm. I'm at a festival right now and it's at its end. The energy is nothing like Stone Mountain. It's at its end. We have a new paradigm, so we have to enact new ceremonies, new festivals, new gatherings. Some of these festivals is at their 50th, 40th, 30th, and all due respect to the run and everything, but it's time for some newer festivals, newer energy for newer purposes. I want to have a whole week, a strong end where we just doing creativity. We just doing maker shit. We have 3D printing machines. We'll have laser cutting machines. We'll have heat press machines. We'll have access. We'll have inventory. We'll have, we'll have what they call entrepreneurs, right? Serial entrepreneurs, and they'll be teaching people. We'll be doing workshops. We'll be doing prompting, AI, all type of shit. That's what I want to do. And I want a festival for the children that's free. That's also what I want. I want a whole weekend strong in festival, bouncy houses, toys, games, food, candy, vegan of course, performances, you know, for the little ones, give these mothers a break. You know what I mean? And you're not charging children for nothing. You understand? The children don't get charged. God damn it. Niggas be running down on children with the fucking with the clipboard in the handheld swiper. Like, yo, that's $3, young man. No. Children, these new children, the new children, I call them reasoning models, right? They're like the AI. They're like reasoning models because they'll reason you down, right? They have levels of reasoning that children of the other generations didn't necessarily have, similar to the AIs that are upgrading. It started out as a baby, and then they're upgrading to where they're reasoning and they're thinking a little bit better now, and they're able to question. And like how the AI just now, ChatGPT was like, yo, what about Stone Mountain and Guadalupe River? I was getting to it, but it beat me to the punch. So it's qualified. It's like, yo, I'm with that. I'm cool with that. I'll allow that. But the young ones now are similar to the AI to where they can reason you down. So they're reasoning to a grown person as to why are you charging me for this? You know what I mean? You can't necessarily reason that these days. So we owe them a free festival. Let's all put some bread together and celebrate these little ones and activate them too, and let them know that they are loved, and let them know that they are respected, and let them know that they are the future, and let them know that they are quote unquote protected. They should see a drill, not drill music, but like the FOI in drill, how they do the FOI, the S1W drill, military drill, to let them see the power and the might in their quote unquote people. Yeah, so mote it be. You feel me? So mote it be. You know, we need summer camps for our young mystics, the same way that they got summer camps for their young mystics. We need summer camps for our young mystics because they are here to do the work. And if nobody is assigning them the work, then they're going to get pissed off and they're going to begin to break shit. Promise you. So, you know, there's nothing more that needs to be said, right? I want to show y'all some of the new drip, right? Because another announcement that we have to make, we have a lot of things that are in the works that are here, right? So the website, the March 125th, we have new drip on deck, right? We have new drip on deck. We have new drip on deck. Right? Hold on 1 minute. Matter of fact, while we go into this announcement, let me just play you this commercial. All right. So new drip is on deck. All right. New pieces for the summertime. We have the show stealer right here, the Stone Mountain drip. This is what everybody's been asking for. We have this on deck in t-shirt form and also in the tote bag. All right. Coming up on the 11th, 7/11. Shout out to my Moors. We're going to be launching our next 4-week workshop. This one is the biggest one as of yet. This is the AAA workshop, y'all. The AAA workshop. So check this out, all right? This is on 7/11. All right. Let's check out the AAA workshop.
AAA TM Master Workshop. Build and deploy the AI empire. Behind the world's next billion-dollar companies, the ultimate 4-week certification to dominate the age of AI with automation, agentic systems, and monetizable APIs. Stop being a spectator in the AI revolution. Build your own automated empire, deploy autonomous agents, and monetize your stack with real APIs in 30 days.
All right. Hold on, y'all. I'll do something special for the phone.
What if you could hire a 24/7 team of employees, developers, and marketers without paying a single salary? Welcome to the Triple ATM system, a complete AI, automation and API training and deployment ecosystem for modern entrepreneurs, consultants, digital creators, and business owners who want to own the infrastructure of the future. In this 4-week live virtual master workshop, you'll go beyond prompts and ChatGPT and engineer the AI stack that powers high-profit, hands-free businesses.
Yeah, so, we got this class coming up. The AAA workshop is really here to help businesses level up, level up, get automation, get generative AI, all of the things that's really promised to you right now. Get agentic AI, APIs. These will level you up in levels that you've never seen. You deserve to be a part of this AI race. You don't deserve to be left behind. You don't deserve to have a flat on the information highway or the digital highway. You deserve to be moving like the Tron vehicles and whatnot. So that's what that represents. I want to give y'all a few. Feel me? I want to give y'all, is the Voltron album coming to vinyl? Is a bird flying? Is a fish swimming? Yes, it's definitely coming to vinyl, my friend. Most definitely coming to vinyl. Feel me? I'm gonna do a little fashion show real quick. I was on something called TikTok Shop the other day. How many of y'all familiar with TikTok Shop? TikTok Shop is the most genius, quote unquote, use of live video, in my humble opinion, because it's going to create what is called a 1 minute millionaire, which is a formula that was promised to us many moons ago and whatnot, right? It was promised to us that one day we'll be living in a reality where we could create a millionaire in 1 minute. So that's what TikTok Shop is about, right? So I'm working on building my TikTok Shop store. I got to prove and everything, but I really wanted to look super official. Henceforth, while I've been dealing with a lot of my merchants on 125th Street, my wholesalers, because when I do the Mark 125 real website TikTok Shop, it's gonna look like I'm on 125th Street with literally everything that you could get from Harlem without having to go to Harlem, and the world would be shopping there, right? So right now I'm gonna just do a quick little fashion show, a little drip report. You know what I mean? We are out here at the festival doing what it do, but I have to show you the background because once again, you've never seen New York like this probably, right? So let me go ahead and drop my backdrop. It's gonna get dark because I'm against the light. So look at the ocean, right? Look at the ocean behind me. Feel me? So this is a first for me. I've never been. And then look at the water on that side. This is water on that side. So as I talk about the Guadalupe River, right? And we all learning about the power of this element, this water element. I'm surrounded by water, right? I'm surrounded by water, right? Sacred water as it is. You feel me? And I'm just tapping into that energy in real time. You feel me? So that's good for me to come to New York and be able to go by the water. I'm able to walk on a boardwalk at night. You feel me? And just get the ionosphere, you know what I mean? I'm able to tap into the ocean. Because remember, you can manifest on that ocean faster than you can manifest on land. You feel me? Because of the ionosphere, it's charged up. Right? So here's some of the drip, right? If this is something that y'all want, right? Then this is how we're gonna do it. Let me get good lighting. Y'all are gonna be able to shop. This is gonna be me doing my little TikTok shop. This is my this is not the official launch, but this is how it's gonna work. If it's something that you want, you gotta hit the buy me a coffee, and then you'll describe what it is, right? you'll describe what it is. Everything comes in any size that you are. So anything that you want, any size that you want it in, it will come in that size. No worries. So this is the Kendrick right here. I heard Drake was talking stupid the other day, but nobody's listening to him no more. Meet the Grams, right? So that's the Grammy family. Then we got this right here. This is a limited edition, right? Because they don't make these jerseys anymore. This is a limited edition, quote unquote, jersey with the master teachers on it, right? It's just some powerful drip. Look at the little patches on it, right? Got Bobby, the Bobby drip, right? Then you got the Sadie drip. Right? So you could do it properly, right? All of these are on the website too. All of these are on, well, not all of these, but the website got the drip on it. But this is some live shit. These are one of these customs where you're not gonna see it. These are festival pieces. These are festival pieces. I go in my bag for the festivals. So I can't go hard at the festival. I can't go in my bag at the festival and then the family around the world, they don't get to see the dripping tin. You know what I mean? This is special drip for the this is festival drip. You know? Spend a little bit more money for the festival drip. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger investment. You know? People get those one-off pieces. This right here. Big shirt. Big shirt the whole weekend. We got it right there on the heart, right? We put Stone Mountain on the heart, right? We put the crystal on the heart, okay? And then we put it on the back because we're carrying so much on our backs, right? Carrying so much on our backs, right? Then we got this right here. This is the Trinity. Delbert, Phil, C. Freeman L. Right? This is the Trinity T. I'm talking about. You need the Stone Mountain Tea. Stone Mountain Tea is $30 plus shipping and handling. Go right to the buy me a coffee, right? The other one that I just showed you, the Trinity Tea, that's $44 shipping and handling, $10 shipping and handling. We got the whole post office machine in the crib. Master teachers, right? So we took the whole concept of the masters. They have the nerve to come to Georgia, play golf, and talk about the masters. Nah, we the master teachers. We the masters. We the real masters. So we took that shit and flipped it. So we giving the master teachers the green jacket. You know what I mean? So if you're a master teacher, you get the green jacket. You know what I'm talking about? You part of the masters, right? You gotta pay homage to the masters. Gotta pay homage to the masters. This is the classic Dr. Sabi drip right here. This is the first one that started it all. Paying homage to the ones who paved the way for us, and we are living and breathing examples of their greatness. The first golf master was a melanated man, by the way. FYI, first champion in golf of the Masters was melanated. Same way that they have in the Derby. Classic. This is the one. Here, this is the one that everybody rocks with. This was one of my best sellers right here. People seem to love this Bobby right here. This is a classic. This is heavy in the streets. 3 more. This is heavy in the streets and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what we out here doing on the ocean. You know what I'm talking about? About to go tap in with the family. I'm gonna try to go live at the festival. Charging my phone up right now as we speak. I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go live. So look at this. Look at this. Big drip. I'm in love with a right? Big drip. If you want the Dr. Francis, just say Dr. Francis. It's 44. 44, yeah. 44. Look at this one right here. Make one with all of the photos on the shirt. Yeah, that'd be crazy, right? That'd be crazy. We got Dick Gregory. We got Baba. This is the last one. There's so many more, but we're gonna just stick to these right here. I don't want to overwhelm you, right? But when we do the TikTok shop, it'll be an hour of this. It'll be an hour of this, and it will be, the camera will be a lot better. The lighting. I'm just, I'm renegading it right now, but it's literally, we'll be inside of a studio, and it's gonna be a whole store weekly. You know what I mean? New arrivals, new drops, new designs, all of that. So get ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for that. We're gonna step up the production. We're gonna step up the creativity. People are like, "Yo, Red Pill, you everywhere." I'm like, nigga, it's the summer. Fuck. It's the summer, nigga. Like, this is when you're supposed to be outside, right? That's what the summer's about. So we outside. It's summertime. You know what I'm saying? We lit. Yeah, the Baba Kalindi, the Azariahs, the Dawoods. There's a whole line. 3 to 5 business days. Y'all give me 3 to 5 business days on the whole turnaround, the shipping and everything, and the production, of course, right? So there's a whole new collection coming because there's so many master teachers. You feel me? There's a whole new collection coming. But just give us some time. You know what I mean? We definitely working. But yeah, it's summertime, so it's time to work. It's time to work. There's a solar maximum taking place. That means the sun is going off. You're not going to be able to repeat 2025 again. You feel me? You only get one time to do it one time. So yeah, let's turn up. Let's keep turning up. Let's walk this earth knowing that this shit is up. You know what I mean? Let's walk this earth knowing that the grid has been activated. You feel me? Let's walk with our heads high, knowing that nothing can't stop us. You feel me? They cannot stop it. They're gonna try, but there's nothing that they could do to stop it. You feel me? The only thing that they could stop is momentum within you if you allow it. Other than that, they can't stop shit. So with that being said, we're gonna tap in. I'll see y'all on Melanin Monday. Whoever pulls up for the Professor Griff. It's tentative if we're gonna be doing it at Nicholas. I'll put the flyer on the page. It's really just based off of how I feel, because I don't like to do last minute, real super last minute shit. But it's what calls, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta be ready for the calling whenever it goes out. Feel me? And the people want to know about this Diddy shit. They want to get the real breakdown from the people who've been talking about this for 20 years, who kind of like started this conversation. They want to hear from the OGs, which would be Black Dot and Professor Griff. That's the foundation of a lot of this conspiracy, hip hop breakdown, all of that stuff that they do in a million podcasts about these days. And everybody is suddenly an expert on, right? So yeah, Monday, we'll see you in the building. All right. KTL, take care. We have the Triple Threat box set out for the AI enthusiasts. And we have the AAA workshop coming up. All right. Triple Threat box set. And we have the drip. So with that being said, peace, love, and light to y'all. Y'all stay dangerous. We will see you very, very soon. All right. And yeah, keep your notifications on. We may go live from from Brooklyn, from the field. You dig?
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Get to know the ledger, sacrilegious, Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.